Welcome everybody to the Horror and Gore Horror Movie Podcast. It's your host Dakota here. I'm always joined by my friend and co-host Lyndsey. What's up, Lyndsey? How you doing?
Hey Dakota, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So for today's episode, we are going to be doing our first review as a duo on here. As you guys have seen, if you guys are returning viewers and listeners to this podcast, I've always done reviews by myself or either with Colby and Ian. And today's gonna be our first review.
We're a
So
team.
we are gonna be reviewing the new Valentine's Horror Day slasher rom com, everything in one, Hard Eyes. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we have watched this week. So and crochet, of course. What have you watched and crochet this week, Lyndsey?
Well, crochet wise, I worked on a lot of custom orders. I got a lot of, I sent out a couple of Sam's. I sent out a pop of corn. And that was really it as far as crochet. I still have a pop of corn and a Santa Art the Clown available if anybody wants it. Movie wise, it was a slow week for me. I only watched a few things. I finished The Blackwell Ghost 7 and 8. I really loved those movies. We'll be talking about those in a couple of episodes, so I'm going to keep some of my comments to myself, but I really loved those movies. What else did I watch? I watched Evil Dead 2013, and I loved that. I was not expecting that, but I will say that's like one of my most when people are sending me movie recommendations, that's almost on everyone's list. So the other night, Colby suggested it and I watched it and I loved it. So that was cool. And what else did I watch? I watched Trick or Treat for the first time. Also loved it. I understand why people order so many of my Sam's. He's adorable. And then I went to see Hard Eyes. I think that was all of my movies for the week. All my new stuff, anyway. New to me.
So I'm kind of mad. I had to work that day. So if you guys would listen to the episode last week, I cut down on the lives for the week. Only 3
You did.
lives each week. So they went live. It was my last day of the week for work, which was Saturday. So that Friday night going to Saturday morning, Lyndsey went live. And of course she watched Evil Dead 2013. My favorite Evil Dead movie on the day I had to work. Did she could she not wait till the next day? No, probably not. But
I didn't know, in my defense.
no, I know really good story about this. So I wake up that morning about 5:20. I look at my phone and Mr. Colby does horror texts me, "Wake up!" I'm thinking, why did he just tell me wake
Why?
up? And I look, I'm like, Lindsay's on. I'm like, is everyone else on too? And I saw Ian's icon. I'm thinking, oh crap. Then I hopped in. And I saw Coda. I'm like, where's Colby? I'm like, he's not walking. I'm like, is Colby sleeping? Coda just on with you guys. Then I see Colby. I'm like, then he's like, dude, I got banned because I put that picture of you with Nicolas Cage from Con Air, and I'm like, TikTok is soft.
Colby got banned.
Colby got banned.
Colby got banned. But then we were like, he got kicked out, and I was hosting. So like it said I got like a violation or whatever. And um Ian said Colby does disappearing because he just vanished. And then I was like, get back in on Coda's phone, and then there he was. So uh we didn't lose much time with him, but it was really hilarious. But then he appealed it and like he won the appeal. So he's back and we're all back.
Colby just winning.
Colby just wins.
He's winning all the time. But for what I have watched this week, I have watched a plethora of
A
movies.
plethora.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Let's hear it,
So
buddy. Oh,
I watched Freddy vs. Jason. Finally got to see that. Really enjoyed that. Then I watched 2 non-horror movies this week. First one is You're Cordially Invited. This is the new Will Ferrell Reese Witherspoon movie. I really enjoyed this. Then I watched Wolfman, the new Blumhouse movie. Like that. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. being a big like Blumhouse fan, but really enjoyed it. Then I watched Dark Match, pro wrestling fan. You had some horror elements and some good practical effects, and Mr. Chris Jericho, great performance. I need his agent to be like, I need to get Mr. Chris Jericho into more villain roles because that dude has had a big year in horror. He's in that. Of course, he's in Terrifier 3 also. So he knows the horror genre. Then after that, I watched Dogman. Did not like Dogman. Gonna put that out there. Gonna rewatch it, of course, later on once it's released on digital again. But right now, I just didn't love it, or I didn't like it at all. Then I watched Hard Eyes, which I'm gonna hold off for that in the review.
Later.
Then the next movie I watched, Mr. Chef, if you're listening right now, and Mr. Ian.
Chef.
These dudes said, Dakota, this movie is like Evil Dead 2013. It's good as Evil Dead 2013. I got debated right into this. I'm like, Evil Dead 2013? Yeah, I'm good. I'm locked in. I watched this movie. This is nowhere close to Evil Dead 2013.
He was so angry. He was an angry elf. You pouted. You pouted.
Angry elf.
You did. I did. You were pouting. You were just like he watching it all dead serious. You're like, this is not better than Evil Dead 2013.
I am not pouting. That's called me being locked in. I am locked in. That's why.
It was hilarious.
Colby's like, dude, why are you so mad? I'm like, I think I am locked in. This is how I am. I'm locked into the screen.
But the reason they said that is because the guys were watching that while I was watching Evil Dead 2013, and Colby decided that he loves Evil Dead more than The Shining now, which I think is a bold statement. Yeah.
Oh no.
He said that.
I agree with Colby on that one, actually.
I don't, but I'm new to that movie. It is going to be part of my rotation now, but it's not. I don't know. Anyway,
Wait, so is that your first Evil Dead movie you ever watched?
it is. Yes,
I know what you watched tonight. I got a recommendation. When we go live tonight, you're gonna be watching a certain movie.
Okay.
So be prepared
I'm
for
excited.
that. But I watched this movie. It's not that bad. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. There's some things I liked about it, then there's some things I didn't like about it. The last like 20, 30 minutes is what really sold me on this movie. And pushed me over to that positive rating. Because besides that, like first half is it's like a whole bunch of different genres in this movie. You got the horror elements, you got some adult film elements, and you got some of what I think they want to be like comedic elements.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the horror is what really sold it, especially the end. It kind of reminded me of a home invasion, like I would not say You're Next, but home invasion mixed with a little Texas Chainsaw in it by the design of the villain. And that's what I really liked about this. But my last movie of this week, which I just watched through the episode of House of Ghouls podcast, which if you guys haven't watched that, go watch it. So if they are listening, Jason and Nolan, Jason's Inc. and Nolan, they both are director and writer of Looky Loo, the new movie that, here we go, is coming out this Friday on physical media. If you guys want to see this, it's available on the Scream Team releasing website right now. So definitely go check this movie out, put pre-orders and buy it. I've already seen it. I really love this movie. It's a great found footage film. It's a first part in a trilogy. So they were talking about the Jason's other movie that he released about 6 years ago. And Colby and Ian has been recommending me this one, and it's Straight Edge Kegger. And this movie is fucking rad. This movie rips. It's so good. There's like 10 minutes of it I didn't like of it that much, but the rest of this movie, it's low budget. I don't care. It goes hard. The music, some of this music's I didn't like some of the music, but then some of the music fit right into this movie. but the acting is good. Jason plays in this movie. I like Jason's character, but the whole acting and I liked in this movie, except probably one character. And once once you watch it later on, we will talk about that. And but I love that movie. I think there's one more movie that Jason has. I know it's not streaming right now, so I'm gonna try to contact him and see which way can I watch that one. But besides that, that's it for this week for watches. But
Mhm.
let's get into some movie news.
Movie news.
So that was actually pretty damn good, by the way.
I loved that. We should do more of that.
So for our first piece of movie news, this is Lyndsey's favorite movie of all time, it seems like, because she always talks about this movie. It's a part of this franchise. So we got the new teaser trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. You didn't see that one, right, Lyndsey?
No, but talk about having heart eyes. I'm so excited.
It's good. I watched this trailer. Um,
I might
like
watch the
I
trailer.
haven't watched the original two, but I've watched Jurassic Park 3. And you know how that trilogy always had the same feel, everyone said? This new
You gotta watch the first one though. It's different.
this new one,
So fucking good.
it's not like the other two. It's not like those two pieces of garbo that we got.
Man, my heart's
Um
I'm so
you
excited.
you excited about this.
I love dinosaurs, Dakota. I love them. And like Jurassic Park is just my favorite. So yeah. Go ahead,
This
sorry.
is going back to like the dark times of Jurassic Park. This has some horror elements into it. This has a great cast. It has Jonathan Bailey, which he plays. Oh, I forgot his character, but he plays the Wicked, Glinda's boyfriend in Wicked. So he plays in this. Scarlett Johansson also plays in this with Mahershala Ali, which this cast is really good, and I just can't wait for this movie. It's going up there like not like probably top 10, top 15 now, most anticipated after this trailer. It's really good. It don't show a lot. It shows a certain animal which I'm excited for,
A
which is
dinosaur?
yeah, it's like a new type of breed that they're trying to do. And it's actually it has elements. I'm not going to tell you what they are or the
I mean,
people.
you can. You can. I don't care.
So it's like a seems like a T-Rex mixed with a xenomorph.
Don't
And
know yet.
that sounds good. So I'm excited for that. So our second piece of movie news, Mr. Robert Eggers, director of Nosferatu,
I
The
love how you
Witch,
say that.
The Lighthouse, and The Northman, has just brought us an update of his new movie Werewolf that's releasing on Christmas next year. This movie is going to be dark. This is his darkest movie he's going to write. And he's actually going to do the gothic type. He's not going to do the Wolfman like what we just got. He's actually going to go back to I kind of mentioned this before, back to like the 19 or like 1500s, had the old time English and stuff, but
Mhm.
it's going to be very dark. So if he's going very dark in this, and I thought Nosferatu was his darkest. So if he can go darker than Nosferatu, this could be really good and very scary.
I think yeah, sounds pretty amazing.
So for our third piece of news this week, we got our first poster, which I am excited for this movie. Like, holy crap, is our first poster for Silent Night, Deadly Night, the reboot, being released by the Terrifier team. Which I think Lyndsey has seen this poster. It's a bloody axe with Christmas lights all around it.
Hmm.
That shit hypes me up. I don't care what other people think. Oh yeah, it's just a simple plain poster. First of all, it's really good.
Speaks to you.
The design is amazing. Like somebody actually drew this out. It looked like put excellent colors and stuff in it, and it's giving kind of like that Terrifier 3 vibe of
Okay.
what that movie is. So if they can cook like they did with Terrifier 1, 2, and 3, and even with Stream, I'm all down for this. Then for our fourth piece of news, which we got update on the Black Phone 2, which I'm excited for this movie. Also, this year is like top 10 for me, most anticipated. I know Lyndsey hasn't seen the first Black Phone, which I am trying to get her onto watching that very soon because a lot of people like the movie, a lot of people don't. Um, but what Scott Derrickson said, this is interesting, and I kind of like where he was going with this. So, someone in the interview, because he's having his new movie, The Gorge, being released on this Friday, the
Hmm.
one with Miles Teller on Taylor. So, somebody asked him, like, is there any updates on like the Black Phone 2? Can you say anything? Because of course this is made by Blumhouse, so Universal. So big studios are kind of like keep the hush hush on movies. And all he said is after the first Black Phone, he thought that was a great standalone movie, like a lot of us thought. And Joe Hill, the writer of the short story of the Black Phone, which he is Stephen King's son, he came up to Scott and he's like, I got an idea for number two, a second one. And Scott's like, I don't know. He's like, I feel like this is just a standalone movie. We ended it good. And Joe Hill showed him this story. Like, not like the story, but like the concept, what he thought of. And Scott likes the concept. So he's like, okay, let's do it. So the first one is kind of like he said, explain like the first movie one is a middle school coming to age story, where the second one is the high school coming to age story. But there's one element which I am not going to say because I don't want to spoil it for Lyndsey, which is a pretty big part of the movie. They're bringing somebody back, and I'm wondering why they're bringing somebody back. And you'll figure out why, Lyndsey, after the movie. Um, which if you watch two movies tonight, that might be your another watch. It's a Black Phone, but I'm excited for the Black Phone 2. That even makes me more hyped now that Scott Derrickson was not on board at first until he saw Joe Hill's idea. Which, if Joe Hill has an idea, because right now, as his adaptations go, I think besides like The Shining, Doctor Sleep, and like Get Chapter One, I think Joe Hill's adaptations into movies is better than his dad's. Then for on one of our last two pieces of news, we got a popcorn bucket for the
Oh,
monkey.
yeah.
So if you guys know the monkey, Oscar Perkins' new movie is being released in 2 weeks from now, and AMC has released a popcorn bucket, which is literally the monkey, like the little thumb. Was it? What are those little things that he's like clapping?
Symbols.
Yeah, it's a
But
symbol.
but he actually doesn't have the symbols. It's a drum.
Oh yeah, I don't know. The first poster showed the symbols, so I got
Yeah,
confused. That is the drum.
I think he probably has symbols at some point in the movie, but the popcorn bucket itself, I believe, is a drum, and it's super fucking cute.
Have you seen
Like,
like the little blood splatter on
yeah,
the drum?
like it's cool looking. Like, I'm not even a slut for a popcorn bucket, but like I would buy that.
I'm hoping they put that online. I would buy it. I'm like, I don't care if I pay $50. Yeah, I've paid for a popcorn bucket for $50 before, but we're not going to go into that story. Maybe sometime later.
Yeah,
But I'm excited for this popcorn bucket. Why I can't pick up in person? I don't got AMC near me. It's like an hour and a
I
half
don't
away.
either.
So hopefully they put online. But for our last piece of news, we got a full teaser trailer to Final Destination Bloodlines, and this thing shows the kill, the like one of the kills, and it's the kill that everyone has been rumored about. Which I know Lyndsey has to say. I don't want to spoil anything about it or anything.
You can talk about it if you want to talk about it. You're not gonna bother me.
Um, I kind of don't want to spoil it for our listeners
Okay,
because I know some of our friends listen to
perfect.
hear that hasn't seen it before. Um, but I'm still gonna say I think there are some things that they're missing off from this death. As I watch it more and more, there's some things that they have cut out, which I think one they can't show in the trailer and online,
Yeah,
and two I think will be too much spoilery for it.
yeah.
But
They're not gonna show the whole thing in the trailer. What would be the point in that, right?
but I think this movie's gonna be really good, and I can't wait for this movie. But with that being said, let's get to our main topic, the juiciest part of this episode, and this is our review for Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes is the new Valentine's Day slasher starring Olivia Holt and Mason Gooden, directed by Josh Rubin, produced by Christopher Landon. And if you guys don't know who Christopher Landon is, director of Freaky, Happy Death Day 1 and 2, was supposed to be the director of Scream 7, but of course he dropped out, which respect him on that. Um, then he is directing the new Blumhouse thriller Drop. So
I'm trying to not sneeze.
I'm like, damn, is she about to cry right now? I'm like,
I'm trying to not sneeze. Okay, I think it passed.
but let's get right to our spoiler-free review. So I'm gonna go first on this one. So
Yeah,
this, Hard Eyes. I was hyped for this movie, and this movie lived up right to it. I really enjoyed this movie. Going into this movie, this the first scene right in this movie hits you like with something that you never seen in any other horror movie before, and I love it. It's a blend of rom com and slasher, more rom com than the slasher, which wasn't expecting that, but it didn't take me out of the movie whatsoever. Olivia Holt and Mason Goon, I think, is the best characters in this movie, and they have some great chemistry. Devon Sawa, I like this character in this. I wish he got a little bit more screen time.
yeah, he didn't have much screen time.
Um, Jordana Brewster wasn't bad. I kind of wish she was more, a little bit more. And I like the cinematography in this. It's dark, it's grainy. The Hard Eyes Killer is awesome. The reveal though was a little bit lackluster for me. I wish they could done a little bit better on the reveal. And
I liked the reveal.
I will mention why I didn't like that reveal that much in the spoiler part of this.
Okay, fair.
But overall, I really recommend that you guys go see this. This movie that has not made a lot of money in the box office, and you guys need to go see this movie on Valentine's Day.
Take your date. Take yourself. I was the only person in my theater. I went by myself, and I was the only person there.
What's up with everybody being by themselves watching this movie? You by yourself, Kobe was by himself.
I mean,
Eh,
I went on a Monday evening, and my town is very small, so like there wasn't gonna be. I had no hopes that anybody else would be there.
I was really wanting to go to this movie by myself. Then 5 people showed up. I'm like,
Mhm.
but it kind of was funny because there were some scenes that I would get to it once we get there. There was one of my people in my audience said something about busting out laughing once they said it though. But to Lindsay, what is
Yes.
your spoiler-free review on Hard Eyes?
Spoiler free. Okay. I would say I went into this. I didn't want to like it, and what I mean by that is like no. Okay. So I'm on this horror movie journey, right? And I didn't want like the first movie for me to be like, yeah, I liked this to be like a Valentine's Day movie. That seemed like womp womp. Like, of course you liked that movie. With that being said, I didn't love it. It's not making any favorites list of mine. But like, if I were hanging out with a boy on Valentine's Day and he liked horror movies, I would watch it with him and just like make out through the boring parts. Like there were parts in it for me that were too slow. Just keeping it real, Dakota. It's a Valentine's Day movie, okay? Like that's so yeah, there were parts that were slow, but I agree that it was very I enjoyed the I enjoyed how he looks. I wasn't let down by that. And I think he will make a cool plushie for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah. So like
So,
all the same stuff you said, but plus the plushie.
no, it gets me that you like the reveal more than I did, though, and I can't wait to break that down with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
guys, with that being said, if you guys haven't seen Hard Eyes, I don't know what you're doing right now. Pause this, go see Hard Eyes, come
It's
back,
worth it. Yeah.
press play. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Don't wait till the digital release. Go to a theater. If your theater's packed, go ahead, go see it. Go see it on Valentine's Day with your significant other. If you're by yourself, go see it. Go see that. Besides, probably Captain America. This movie's probably better anyway. Um, But with that being said, Lyndsey, let's get right into this. Let's talk about the opening first, because
Okay.
I
Okay.
was not I was not expecting a long story to be the opening song to that
And it
movie.
was like I can say what it is now, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it was eyeball stuff, and eyeball stuff is what I can't handle. Like like right away I wasn't expecting that. I thought like maybe one of the other people, but like I wasn't expecting him to be it. Disgusting.
Okay. Okay. That whole entire time, first of all, the song start. I'm like, we're just going. It's the long
Every
story.
summarize me.
I'm like, I know what the song is, but really, we're gonna start with this. I'm like, good song choice though. Um, it like took me off
Shout
and
out Lone Star.
it put me, it took me out of the movie and put me right back into the movie. But it's the comedic elements. It's the
Yeah.
whole entire scene of the proposal. It's the strawberry, and she's like, "Did you put this in the fucking strawberry?"
When he's
I'm
like
like, "Oh, it's the sound too. It's like, ugh, well, cool." But
nasty.
to be honest with you, I was sitting there just waiting for like an arrow to go right through his eye.
That's what I mean. Like I was expecting one of them to be taken out right away. Like okay,
Not the
opening
camera guy.
scene. No, but it's the camera. I thought it was the camera guy. Like, but no, the eyeball stuff. Just I wanted to
Okay, yeah,
throw up right away.
it kind of shows like the camera from the camera guy's perspective that he is going to be the hard eyes killer.
Hmm.
Then he it's the phone call. We go from Lone Star to like Nicki Minaj, like real quick. I
Yeah.
like the genre change. And he's like, you got the picture. He's like, no, I love this. She's like, you already proposed to me. Now we gotta really take another fucking picture.
Hmm.
But it's like it's a moment though, and I didn't expect that kill though, and he's
No.
just right through it. It's trick,
Got
and,
him.
and it's this movie's gory. That's what I'm gonna say. This movie is gory.
Yeah, but it's like not. I mean, there were a couple times where it's like, are we going there? And then like they went there. Like it was. I was not expecting that for how cheesy it was. Like the rom-com side of it, and it was really funny. Um, I was not expecting it to be as gory as it was. Like great
What's the one
job.
kill that you didn't expect to go in there?
What's the one that like bothered me the most was probably when she got smashed.
Oh, in the Great Machine.
Yeah, fuck that.
I knew that was coming. I'm like, I want to see what's
I mean,
like
her whole face
happening.
popped.
The good practical effects. Oh no, you want to talk about good practical effects? It's when Jordana Brewster's character is in the little thing and they're looking the whole entire thing, and she just like picks up everything.
Can we talk about like the most iconic scene for me for
Yeah,
it
what
being
is yours?
a Valentine's Day horror movie? The pure romance of them pulling that knife out of the guy's throat together. Like like
Oh,
that's love. But
I love that.
I think that was the moment. Like
They're like, are we really going to do this? And it's just his face. You just like look at his face, and he's just like,
those were some grimy kills too. Like the people in the back of the van.
so okay. They showed that kill like in the first teaser trailer, so I already knew
Oh, they
about
did.
that. Yeah, so I knew about that, but it kind of showed how hard this movie was going to go.
Yeah.
And they didn't show the official kill, but you knew what the grape smasher was coming to, and I wanted to see like it was brutal, but I thought it was gonna go a little bit more depth into the kill, except just her head popping, just like kind of like you haven't seen it, but there's a certain person like Saw 5, like he
Hmm.
gets crushed and it shows everything, not only his head but his whole entire body, and I thought they were gonna go that way.
I like started to close my eyes. My eyes were open like this, and I was like, and I watched it though.
um, but I like the opening. How do you feel about the Fast and the Furious joke?
Okay, well, I haven't seen the Fast and the Furious, but were you talking about the Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah, the Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't really get the joke. I know that they have the same names, but
So joke's funny, but the way the Fast and Furious franchise is now is like and like you had to pick like the like I like Jason Statham, but I don't
mhm.
like The Rock whatsoever.
You
So
don't like The Rock?
no, I don't like The Rock.
Oh, okay.
I will explain to you later why I don't like The Rock.
Okay.
Um, but the those two characters seem like the most lackluster in the franchise, and you had to. It's funny because this is where a little like connection of with Devon Sawa, who plays the guy detective.
Mhm.
He plays in Final Destination, the first one, and one of the
Mhm.
detectives in that movie is called Shrek. And around that time, Shrek came out, so being two detectives or being Hobbs and Shaw. And the other thing is the girl cop is Jordana Brewster. She plays in Fast and the Furious. So
I
that
thought
really
so.
so it's just like a full circle of I was like
Okay.
just picking up details. It's like I don't know if that's why the joke didn't hit that well because I was just picking up details where that joke was being said the whole entire time.
Mhm.
But what is one if you had to pick a scene that took you out of the movie, like, did they really do that? Kinda like I wish they didn't put it in the movie. What would the scene be for you?
I really thought it was a lot heavier on the rom-com than I thought it was gonna be. There were times where, like, I mean, this is probably gonna come as a shock, but, like, I wanted more horror elements than but then I had to keep reminding myself, this is a Valentine's Day movie. Of course, it's gonna be, like, cheesy and lovey and all of that, but, like, I liked them together as a couple, but there were just some times where I wanted them to be, like, a little more badass than they were and a little less lovey-dovey. You if that makes sense?
I agree with you because I thought they were gonna go more of a My Bloody Valentine route and, like, have some love elements in there, but go
Yeah.
mainly on the slasher.
Like, I wanted them to go scorched earth, and they did eventually, like, but I wanted them to just, like, fucking slay some people, and they just kinda I would be interested in seeing them paired together in another movie that's, like, not funny. Like, they should just be in a slasher movie together. I think they would be great.
There's another question I'll bring up later on,
Mhm.
which I can't wait to for us to discuss about that question. But for this, it kind of felt like the first half, like you get the slasher part at the beginning. I think it going back to the beginning, I think it's the perfect setup. You gonna get for the audience listener or not only listener but viewer. It's you gonna get the perfect balance of rom com and slasher in this, and it shows that first off in the first kill. But it feels like the first half of this movie is more rom com. The second part, you're going to like this main slasher, a little bit of rom com, but like main slasher,
Mhm.
which I enjoyed it because not a lot of slasher movies we get a good backstory and setup for characters, and I thought they really done that well for this movie. To
They gave a lot of backstory, you're right, and that's what I think I didn't like, was, like, we really got to know these characters before anything really happened.
and with Mason Gooding's character of Jay, when they found the ring of JS, I'm like,
Mhm.
are we really going to just set it up like he's just the killer straight off? I'm
I
like,
was
this
kinda
is going to
over
be
it.
so dull if he is the killer.
Yeah.
But they set it up later on. Of course, he's not the killer, and Mr. Devasawa needs more appreciation. Like he brought the Final Destination franchise alive, and you
Put
just kill
respect
him.
on his name.
You kill him with a chop to the crotch and a slash to the face. I thought that was the. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Sometimes you just need a chop to the crotch.
You just that's the quote of the day. That's the quote of the episode right now. Sometimes you just need a chop to the crotch. But with that being said, I like the whole when I say ending to there, once we get to the hard ice killer being in the police station
Mhm.
to where they of course at the end of the movie with the reveal, I thought that was really good. Like the police station. Did you suspect anybody from that police station before we found out who the hard ass killer was? Was there anybody you predicted could be in that station? Could be in it?
I'm not trying to sound like a hard ass, but like I knew who it was right away.
You knew who it was?
Hmm. I figured it out. I mean, not right away,
Okay,
but
I
like,
knew. I kind of thought of like who one of them was. The
but
other one though,
as
I didn't expect the other one.
okay, so we're saying that there were two.
Yeah, we're saying
Okay,
okay. Yeah, there's two.
I the guy I clocked him right away. I
You
was not.
you clocked the guy. I did the opposite. I knew it
I
was Jordan
clocked.
Daniel.
Now I didn't trust her because she was being too like buddy buddy, and I was like, okay, this bitch is getting too close. She's being too friendly. Like she's up to something. But I thought it was more like she's gonna steal the guy. Like I was thinking like the rom com side of it. Like she's just after Jay. Was that his name?
That or I was thinking if because he's saying he's not the hard eyes killer, right? Why
Right.
not like set him up and the killer come in there? And it's kind of like it is because she kind of did a little lovey dovey, but still the killer came in there to try to kill him.
But that is what I. There were parts of it in the middle that I was kind of like just a little bit over it. Like I wanted it to get on with it, and the fact that there were 2 killers and it was a couple and it's a like that brought it around for me. Like that was cool. I wasn't expecting that part of it.
So I kind of expect her because after the power went out on the vending machine, and she never showed back up. I'm like, oh, she has to be it because of course Devasawa's
Oh,
character got killed, and I'm like,
makes
okay,
sense.
it's not him. And I didn't expect the IT guy at all, for real.
When he said thruple, I thought it was going to be her ex and his new lady. I thought it was going to
I
be
thought,
them.
okay, I thought it was gonna be the X too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Cuz
the
I was
X is
like,
gonna be this picture.
"Oh, like he's mad. He goes after couples because okay, but it wasn't that."
And they kind of threw it because, of course, when they're at the restaurant, they said, "Oh yeah, don't get killed tonight."
Yeah. And she was like, "Why would he say that?" But I really liked since it was a horror comedy, um, I liked how cheesy they went with it because like it was already gonna be cheesy and they sort of like made fun of themselves in the movie. I don't know how to further explain that, but like it was cheesy on purpose and that made it enjoyable, I guess.
I think
But
I think that's to the point. I think that's with Josh Rubin because Josh Rubin is a comedian.
mhm.
And first of all, I think comedians do great horror. We got him, we got Jordan Peele, and we got several other comedy people that have like technically David Gordon Green. Like I like all three Halloween movies. So and he's a comedian director beforehand. So he's another one to add in there. Even though he's
Speaking of when they get in the cab after dinner, after they say, "Don't get killed," or whatever, there are flowers in the background. Like, you know how the cab is decorated? There are flowers in the background, and those flowers are crocheted.
I didn't even notice that.
I said it out loud in the theater by myself. I was like, crocheted.
But let's get to the theater scene because there's a part that we didn't say yet. Um,
I have a couple parts I want to talk about.
so when the theater scene happens and they kill the hard eyes killer, I'm like, are they going to end it right here? And this is why I suspected Jordana Brewster too, because of course they find out later on that there's a third killer also. The when they kill the guy in the theater, but we find out later on that's just a fan of the other two of the original hard eyes killers, and they just wanted to join him. And it's kind of like they just threw him out there to get killed, kind of.
It was bait. Yeah.
But that whole entire death scene was awesome, though. Of that,
I love that, like, when she killed him and she just, like, threw up on him.
yeah,
But she's, like, mid throwing up on him, and he's just laying there with, like, his hard eyes and a big smile on his face, like, getting barfed on. I
she's,
liked that.
I love the thing. She's like, I don't like blood. Um, but this is why I knew Jordana Brewster because when she told Jay Oh, I would take you home. I would take you to the airport. I'm like, no, and hell no. I'm like, this is sus.
See,
Th-
I was still suspecting like she just wanted to sleep with him. Like I thought it was like I'm gonna steal your man kind of thing.
Oh, I knew she was a killer. I'm like, oh, I'm like, Olivia Holt's character's gonna get called later on, and it's then I'm like, oh, is this actually going to end? And she's just going to take him to the airport, and he was the only one. Then once she got to the airport and the call happened, I'm like, oh, this is where it's going to start. The Jordan and Brewster is, and we go in the church, and when the mask comes off, I see the IT guy. I'm like, what the fuck?
I knew it was him. Knew it.
Then
Because he was like,
Jordan,
there's a killer out there. Like,
the
that
Jordan and
fucking.
Brewster walked up. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm like, I was right the whole entire time. But before we get into like the whole battle at the end, what scenes did you want to talk about?
Okay, there were a couple of funny parts that I wanted to mention. One of the like just small funny parts when she was like going when she's at the police station and she's going for the closet and she grabs the American flag. She's like
I
holding this
love
big ass flag and then like she comes back and she's like, God bless America.
it.
I liked that part. And then I think that's the only. Oh, when he first calls on the phone, I hated his voice. Oh, there's the thumbs up again. Um, I thought he sounded like the Grinch. Like Hard Eyes, his voice, he sounds like the
Okay,
Grinch
to be honest, this is where the Scream aspect came in, and this goes straight to Thanksgiving too. Not Thanksgiving too, but like Thanksgiving the movie.
as
Of
well.
course, they're all made by Searchlight Pictures. No, Spyglass. It's actually Spyglass, not Search Spyglass. So they made the last two Screams. They make Thanksgiving. They make Hard Eyes, and it's the phone call with the voice. They done it, of course. Um, I think it's Roger L. Jackson. I think it is. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I think that's who it is. Of course, he does all the Ghostface voices when they call, like Sydney, Sam, Tara, Dewey, all of
Hmm.
them. Of course, John Carver at the end, he talks before, of course, we find out who the killer is in that one. And once they done the phone call in this one, I was thinking, and that's when people said Scream. I'm like, it's interesting, but it kind of didn't. I wish they kind of did. It's a whole bunch of different things you could took, and Kobe's kind of said this perfect in his review. You get Michael Myers and
I was
Jason,
getting ready to say that. I got thick Michael Myers vibes, but he reminded me mannerisms like of Jason more.
and the Scream is the phone calls, the reveal, and all that
Hmm.
stuff. So I think Josh Rubin wanted to. It goes all together. You got Halloween, you got Friday the 13th, you got Scream. You technically got Valentine because that's like a whodunit slasher. You got My Bloody Valentine. So you got the horror aspect of the Valentine's Day slasher, but you got these iconic characters with their mannerisms and stuff. Then you just add like the rom coms, like the early 2000s rom coms aspects into this.
Yeah, it felt very like 90s, early 2000s to me.
It felt like a McConaughey rom com, to be honest with you,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just putting all that together. And besides, like the ending, like I love Scream, I love that franchise. Besides, of course, what they're going to do with Seven, I love Thanksgiving.
But let's talk about the reveal of this guy though. How'd you feel about that?
This is why I'm like I love the reveals in those two movies, but this one was lackluster. I think it was kind of just like thrown in there. If they could not done the reveal and just had the killer just go on, just like go to other cities, or they just keep on following Jay and Olivia Holt's character, like if they want to do sequels and like a franchise with this, I would do
Mhm.
okay. Be kind of like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, a person that we don't know under the mask. But once you've done the reveal, kind of messes the whole entire thing up a little bit. But the deaths in that last
Oh, I also thought that the part when she like shot the glass out, that scene was super cool.
shot the
When
glass.
she's like like he's locked to the desk still and she shoots the glass out.
Yeah.
But then like she has the aim of a stormtrooper. Like how did she miss that guy? He was
I
standing
love how you just
still
mentioned that.
6 feet away from her and she misses him. But no judgment.
I love how you just said Hamer the stormtrooper. I
She
know
did.
what
She had
you're
the aim
talking
of a
about now.
stormtrooper.
But these deaths at the end. Who's out of the two deaths who you think was more brutal?
Hers.
Yeah, it's hers.
And the symbolism that it was, the Valentine's Day massacre. Like,
When Saint Valentine's head got cut off to make Valentine's Day, and her head just and
dude, when her body fell, like, well,
it's the sound. It's just
it
it
was
just
cool
took
though.
forever because you just see her head just like separate
That was
from her
rough. That
body.
was rough. I closed my eyes for part of that, but when it actually did fall, like that was a cool scene.
And her
I
head's
enjoyed
just
it.
sitting there, and then her head just falls.
It just like twists and falls.
And this is another Scream aspect. Like the first couple done great with this. Like they didn't do that. I think they didn't do this in Thanksgiving. It's when you think he's dead and he jumps back, and he's not dead, and he tries to kill them. I thought that was a little lackluster, but the arrow to the eye, when he got the arrow to his head into his eye,
Mhm.
when
Yeah,
I'm like that's pretty good.
yeah. That's when they finally started coming alive, and they were badass at the end. But like, I just wanted them to be a little more like, through the whole thing.
I am
Like
not
what?
going.
What?
I am not going to spoil. No, you can continue before I say this if you had something else to say.
No, the metal straw. I clocked that from the beginning. I was like, okay, she has mentioned this metal straw twice. So at some point she's going to be like, I'm going to use this as a weapon. And like, of course that eventually happened.
Yeah, I was thinking about that metal straw too. I'm like, when is this metal straw going to come to
Yeah.
play? I'm like, she's like,
But
I love my
instead
metal
they
straw.
pulled out the knife from the guy's throat.
I was swaying when she stabbed her in the throat. I'm like, when's the blood just going to start dripping now? And of course, it just starts dripping now once she gets her head chopped off. I'm like, wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, first of all, how do you survive with a straw in your throat?
Oh.
I'm like, it's right in your jugular vein. You could be bleeding out. Oh, she's just like walking around like
And then when
nothing
they
happened.
say saving the planet.
I love it. I love the beginning. He's like, yeah, you know the paper straws. They get all soggy. They start disposing your coffee, and you start drinking pepper. I'm like, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I hate that. I like my cup is plastic. Like, why the fuck can't my straw be plastic? But we'll not get into that because like you're fired up.
Yeah, true. But how? Okay, there's a certain. I'm not going. Never mind. I'm not going to mention it because that would actually get to spoil territories in the 5 and 6 of Scream.
Yeah, don't do that.
But do you want? Do you have any more thoughts about Hard Ice that you want to share?
Let me check. Uh
Because I think I shared about everything I wanted to with this movie.
oh, I liked it when they're at the police station and she comes in and she's like, "We have an HWW," and he was like, "HWW," and she's like, "Hysterical white woman."
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yes, I need a HWW shirt.
Oh, another thing, it's the very end. I think it's the post credit scene or the end when they propose to each when she proposes to him.
Yeah, that was pretty
Oh no,
cool.
I thought he was proposes like the key. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And she's like proposed to him, and it's the friend. When the friend called, I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, this is how they're gonna set up a sequel. Then it's just the
Mhm.
friend. But what about the friend? I have some suspicion about the friend though.
Okay.
So that here's the last question I got before we end the episode.
Right.
Do
Hit me with it.
you do you think there will be a sequel to this?
I was just getting ready to say like he gave me Michael Myers vibes and like but Jason Mask vibes. I feel like this character could definitely be in another movie. The mask is iconic. Oh, something else I loved was like how the eyes lit up and like that was his night vision.
Yes.
That was fucking cool. Like I wasn't expecting that. So I really loved heart-shaped things. So like I really liked that there were so many neon hearts in the movie, but Uh, so yeah, I think there could definitely be a sequel. Am I gonna run out to see it? Probably not, but it would probably be fun.
So if you took a couple of things, I think if I could suspect who is, I think the friend could be a suspect if they made a
Okay.
second one. The ex boyfriend. I have sus feelings about the ex boyfriend.
Yeah, he's too British and like proper.
What about if you find out later on if they do make a sequel that the friend and the ex boyfriend have something together and they
Could
want to
be.
take her out? Because it seems like even though the ex her friend like really wants her to be with Jay, I feel like the best friend has something for Jay.
Oh, it could be. We could get into love triangle territory. We never know.
But that's if this movie makes enough money so guys go see this movie. Um definitely love this movie. Definitely we'll definitely watch it again. Going hopefully I think I'm gonna try to show mom this one. I think this is a good one. She likes Thanksgiving. She likes the Scream franchise, so I think she's going to really do this one. If you don't have a significant other and you want to go with somebody, take your parents.
Yeah,
It's a
take a
good
friend.
take a friend, take a parent,
Yeah.
take your animal if you want to.
And I love Valentine's Day. Like I don't have a significant other. I'm actually kind of going through a little bit of a heartbreak, but like there's always people to love. You don't have to have a significant other for Valentine's Day. Just love on your friends or stranger.
So go see this movie. That,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about Hard Eyes. But let's get into our last thing that we talk about every week ever since Lyndsey has joined the podcast, and that's our top 10 movies of the week
That we haven't seen.
that we haven't seen. But by the way, my list is going to stay the same because I haven't watched anything. So, Lyndsey, you have Mark 2 off your list
I
with
have Blackwell Ghost.
7 and 8. So, I got you two movies right now.
Okay,
So, your
hit me
two
with it.
movies are The Black Phone,
Hello.
and you're going to be watching Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise. Got it. Noted.
So, for me, I got Blackwell Ghost 1 through 8, Final
Mm-hmm.
Destination 3, and The Invisible Man still. You got Scream 2 through 6,
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal Activity 1 through 3. Then you got The Black Phone and Evil Dead Rise.
Hell yeah.
So
Oh, I
got but
also wanted
ooh,
what?
you say you got something else, so I was gonna let you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that this is our third episode together. So I'm wearing my Dale Earnhardt 3. 3 is my favorite number. Raise hail, praise Dale. I wanted Dakota to say it so bad and he wouldn't. So go
No.
on.
But
We had to
that's
sneak it in.
because with that being said, if you guys would listen to the audio version, let us know in the comments if you guys like Hard Eyes, if you guys gonna go see this movie in theaters, if you're gonna wait for digital. And if you don't like the movie, you can put it down there also, because I would love to chat up with some of you guys about liking this movie and not liking this movie. If you guys are new here, give us a rating of 5 stars. Hit that follow button if you guys are listening to the audio. If you are listening to the video version on YouTube, hit that like button. Let us know down in the comments also if you guys have seen this movie, if you guys like it or not, if you guys are going to be seeing this movie when it hits digital or uh, I think it's Blu-ray. I think it won't hit it's not on 4K or DVD. But
Click all
if
of our buttons.
yes, click the subscribe button if you want to stay with us. Turn on the bell notification. It will tell you guys when we upload episodes and shorts. But guys, with that being said, if you haven't yet, also go follow our social medias down below. We're on TikTok, Instagram, of course, YouTube. So go follow us there to keep up with the podcast clips. But guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye. Love you.